Hi, I'm Terrinique Pennerman, founder of the best-selling naturally curly hair care brand Kurlee Belle and host of the Terrinique Show, a show where we talk about hair, a woman's crowning glory. I'm so happy that you've allowed us to be a part of your hair care journey, and I hope that you enjoy the show. Hi, my name is Terrinique, and I am the host of the Terrinique Show. I'm here again with another episode, and today we're going to talk about, is edge control bad for your edges? We've been doing a series on edges. We started out talking about can your edges really grow back? Do you have to accept the fact that your edges won't grow back? Because I think a lot of people, when they lose their edges, they're like, oh, I've seen my mom, my aunt, they don't have edges, and I'm just gonna accept the fact that my edges won't go back once they're gone. Well, we explored that in one of our most recent videos, that you don't have to give up on your edges. And in fact, if your edges have thinned out or are balding because of traction alopecia, they in fact can grow back. We've also seen a recent video where a girl, she used chemical relaxers on her hair, and her edges completely came off because the relaxer essentially acted like Nair. Your edges can grow back if it isn't severely damaged. If the hair follicle isn't severely damaged by the chemical in the product, like sodium hydroxide, then your edges can in fact grow back. But one thing that we do a lot is we use edge control. I have been a culprit of it, using edge control all the time. So I just wanna, address, is edge control really bad for your edges? So if you're having issues with, thinning edges and you want your edges to grow back, what I recommend is lay off the edge control or use it sparingly. There are certain edge controls that you can use, and what you wanna look for when you're using an edge control is ones that are made from natural ingredients. We have a great one. It's called our Miracle Scalp and Edge Treatment Gel. And I created this edge control specifically for people that have issues with their edges, so that you can lay your edges, but you can also strengthen them. Our Miracle Scalp and Edge Treatment Gel is made with biotin, fenugreek, and keratin. All really good ingredients for strengthening the edges. So you want to look for ingredients like that. Is it natural ingredients? You want to stay away from heavy waxes in your edge control. And when you put it on, if your edges feel dry or, they just feel dry or stiff, then you do not want to be using that edge control, because what it will essentially do is dry out the hair. The hair will actually start to break and become brittle, and then you're going to lose your edges, right? So always pay attention to the ingredient statement on, whichever product you're using, and pay attention to how that product makes your hair feel. Another thing is hair tools when applying your edge control. Some people use the edge control brush or a toothbrush. You want to be very careful when you're using tools on your edges, because your edges are delicate. If you're gonna be rough with the edges, they are going to break. I like to say, just leave your edges alone. Our edges are curly. They weren't meant to be slicked down all the time, right? The only people that have really sleek edges are people that have straight hair, because that's how their edges were meant to be. So what you want to do is leave it alone, and it will grow back. Especially if you're experiencing thinning edges, just leave it alone and it will definitely grow back. Listen to me, guys. Put oil on so you want to oil your edges every single day, in the mornings and at night. That's what I do. So oil your edges with a nice oil blend. We have a great one. We have two different oil blends that are great for your edges. Our Bahamas Glow oil blend, it's really good. It smells delicious. And then we have our Kurlee Tropical Oils blend, which is also really good. And both of those oils have castor oil in it, which we know is very good for growing back healthy, thick, strong hair, right? So you want to stay away from anything that makes the hair dry, brittle, and you want to leave your edges alone. If you absolutely want your edges to be like slicked down, I recommend putting a little bit of oil on it and then taking the scarf and tying the hair down. That usually works for me. My edges, I don't know if you can see in this video, you probably can see like they're not like slicked down. And I do that on purpose because my goal is to have edges, not to not have edges. So the bottom line when looking for an edge control, and the question is edge control really bad? You need to look for one that is made from natural ingredients. You also need to pay attention to how your hair feels after using the edge control. If your hair feels dry and brittle, then don't use that one on your edges. A rule of thumb, always use oil. I like to use oil or oil blend whenever using edge control or any kind of gel on my edges. So always use oil as like a buffer. It's like a barrier between your hair and the product, the edge control or the gel, so that your hair stays moisturized and it's not dry. Another thing I would say that I do when I'm using edge control or anything with my edges, that I spray my hair with water first, then I'll put the oil on, then I'll put the edge control on. So that's a double barrier with the water and then the oil. You want to keep your edges moisturized, but if you can go without bothering your edges, or if you can go without putting edge control on your hair, do that. Do that, because essentially, if you leave your edges alone, they will grow back. I hope that this was helpful to you.